this video, we are going to draw this cute kawaii illustration of this adorable Christmas cat. During this easy step-by-step tutorial, you'll get familiar with a lot of useful features like recoloring with reference tool, QuickShape Tool, Liquify Tool, clip and masks, and blending modes, and learn the basics of drawing in Procreate. By the end, you'll not only draw an adorable illustration you'll be proud of, but also feel super confident using Procreate. And now, let's spend some time drawing! Let's begin by deciding what kind of canvas we are gonna be using. Today we're using a standard square canvas that you can find in Procreate. Both our pixel width and pixel height are set at 2048 pixels, our DPI are at 300, and our color profile is set as sRGB with this low number. When it's all done, hitting done, getting redirected to our new canvas, and if you want to use the same colors that you will see throughout this tutorial, please go under the description and download everything that is mentioned today. So firstly, let's just go to our color palettes and let's select some darkish colors. So for example, let's go with dark magenta pink color. We will start by going to our brush library. We'll go to the sketching folder, and this time let's select our Nerender pencil brush. When we did it, we will start by creating a little scheme that will help us to create our illustration. Firstly, going over the top, stepping a bit from the top edge and creating a straight line going in that way. Hold your line at the end with your Apple Pencil and also hold one of your fingers on the screen to make sure that this line is straight. When you are done, let's just go and do the same on the bottom, stepping a little bit less from here, doing the same thing, holding our Apple Pencil, holding one of our fingers on the bottom. If you think that maybe you want to move this line, you can go to this editing mode over the top, hold your Apple Pencil at some blank space and just move this line a little bit higher. So for now, let's just keep it at something like that. We will get back to our brush if it moved to some other tool, and when we have the result like that, let's go right to the middle and create a straight line here too. So again, doing the same thing, holding our Apple Pencil, holding one of our fingers. If you see that you are not quite in the center, again, go into our editing mode, moving this line if we need to, and when we have the result like that, let's go to this top part and we will create two more lines that will divide this part to 3 pieces. So let's just step a bit from this line that we have on the top, again, doing the same thing, holding our Apple Pencil, holding one of our fingers, going underneath this line that we've just created and creating one more line right here. Again, doing the same thing. If we need to move this line, go into our editing mode and moving it just a little bit so it will have the equal partials right here into this part. When we have the result like that, we are done with our scheme. So let's just go to our layers. We will go to this layer where we have the scheme. We will tap on the N icon and we'll go to the opacity slider. Let's just grab it and drag it a little bit more toward the left so we still can see our lines, but they are not too bright to distract us. And when we have the result like that, let's go and create one more layer on top. Now on the new layer, we will get back to our brush library, the same sketching folder, but this time let's just go either with Procreate pencil or technical pencil. Select the brush to your liking. When you are done with the same color that we are using right now, let's just start creating a little sketch. So firstly, let's just go to this little part that we have right here in the middle, and we will start by creating a little part over the top part of our sock. So let's firstly go and start by creating a very simple and rough shape of the rectangle. We'll try to position it somewhere in the center, so just go and create a rough shape like that. If you want, you can just go and make it a little bit more visible. If you still think that maybe these lines that you have as the scheme are a little bit too bright, you are welcome to get back to the layers, go to this layer where you have these lines, go to the N icon and adjust the opacity even more. So now when we have the result like that, let's just get back to our layer where we started to create our sketch, and let's just go to the bottom and let's create the actual sock right here. So we will step a bit from the sides that we have right here. Let's start with the left one, and we will go down with a little curve like that, going somewhere to the half part right here onto this little element. And when we have this little shape, let's just go down with a curve going in that way. So just very easily creating the shape like that, very rounded. If you want to try it out a couple of times or create these very not clean lines in that way, you are welcome to go and do that. If you want to go straight away to the top and connect these two shapes with a curve, you are welcome to go and do that too. Let's just just go and work a little bit onto the shape to create a nice curves right here. When we are done with this task, let's just go to the opposite side. Again, we are stepping a bit from the edge and we are going down with another curve. So very softly just starting to create our line and then just going to the bottom and creating the continuation of our sock just by creating another shape of the curve right here. If you want, you can try out it a couple of times again. You are welcome to go and try to create a different shape if you want to. So when you have something like that, let's just grab our eraser and let's just go over some of the lines that we don't need and we will just go and erase them. So for now, let's just go and sculpt our shape by erasing some lines that we have here onto our sketch. So let's just go there and start erasing these lines to create a cleaner outline for our sketch. If you still need to go back to your brush and maybe refine some lines or maybe change the shape a little bit, you are welcome to go and do that. For now, you don't need to be very precise. We can fix everything later on. Now we are just mapping out everything that we will need to create right here onto our illustration. So when we have the result like that, let's go to the tip of our sock and we will create a line like that. So that will represent the toes right here. When we have this line, let's move on to the opposite side right here to our heel and do the same thing here. So just creating a little shape like that. You can go with a rounder shape or more like a flatter one. And when we have the result like that, we also can go to this little part that we have right here and we can soften it up a little bit just by turning these little lines that we have on the edges, just by creating the curves instead of them. So you can just go and clean up the lines right here. You can go and refine some of them. If you want to go maybe with some wavy lines, you are welcome to go and do that. Don't try to go too crazy, just create something very, very soft right here. When we have the result like that, let's just go and grab our eraser, and if you have some lines that you need to erase, you are welcome to go and erase them too. So now when we have something going in that way, let's move on again to our brush and let's go over the top part where we will start creating our cat. So firstly, let's just go and zoom in our canvas a little bit and we will start very easily just by going to this line that we have right here on the top. We will step a bit from it and we will make a little mark down like that. When we have this mark down, we will go again to the sides from our sock and we will start creating the lines that will go up in the shape of the curves. So just go there, step a bit from the sides and create two quite equal lines on both sides. So try to make them kind of parallel to one another, but they will be mirrored, so you just need to make them equal on both sides. When we have something like that, again, if you need to go and refine some lines, maybe the shape, the overall shape, you are welcome to go and do that. When we have something going in that way, let's go over the top right here, over our right part, and we will go right to this line that we have right here onto the top. So from this line, we will start going toward the bottom part and we will try to create the ears right here. They will be in the shape of very, very soft triangles. So just create a shape like that, and when you have this first shape, let's move on to the opposite side and create another shape of the ear. But if we want to go and maybe create a bit of the tilt right here in the head, we can just go a little bit lower than this first ear that we've created on our right and just move this ear a little bit lower and create it in that way. So let's firstly go to this mark down that we've created right here. We will go a little bit higher than it and we will just go and make another mark down right here over our right part. From this mark down, let's just go down and create a similar shape to what we have onto our right. So try to create the same shape, try to create the same size of the ear right here. When we have the result like that, let's just go toward this middle part and let's create a continuation of the head just by creating a line going in that way. You can play around with the size of the elements of the ears or with the overall shape of the head. You are welcome to create something different if you want to. If you have some lines that you need to go and erase, you are welcome to go and do that. So now when we have the overall shape like that, let's get back to our brush and let's again go and refine the lines that we have here, so we will have nice connection between our ears and the actual shape of the cat. So let's just go over the right part. We'll elongate this ear just a little bit and we will go and create a little dent right here and go down with a shape going in that way. So you can just go and create a couple of lines right here the same way as we did with the sock. Go grab your eraser and maybe try to refine the shape. So for now, again, we are mapping out everything that we will need to have onto our illustration. So don't worry if your lines are not so great at this stage. So now let's just go over the left side and again, we will try to create a nice continuation of the head right here, a nice connection between the elements. So work onto the lines, make nice connections. When you have the result that is acceptable, let's just get back to our brush and let's just go inside the ears and we will create the inner parts right here. So let's step a bit from the edge that we have for our ear, and first we'll go over the top and we will just recreate the shape that we have right here in that way. So you can just go and create the similar shape that you have on the top. If you need to erase something, go and erase it. When we have this shape like that, let's just go over the opposite side and create something similar here. When we have this shape on the top, we will just need to go to the bottom and we will need to create a nice connection here. So firstly, let's just go and create a little line that will be connecting the shape that we have right here over the top as our head and making it some kind of going to the side, so it will have like a continuation of the head. So when you have this line right here, let's just go over the opposite side and create something similar here. And when we have it, let's just go toward this corner that we have right here onto our ear, and let's just go and create a peculiar shape like that with just a couple of loops like that. And when we have them, we will just go along this line that we've created, our guiding line, and we will connect it nicely with the shape that we have right here on the top. So now when we have the result on one side, let's just do the same on the opposite side. So go into this inner corner, creating a couple of loops right here that will represent some fur. And then just continue creating our shape, closing it. If you have some parts that you need to erase, grab your eraser and erase it to your liking. So now when we have the result like that, let's again go back to our brush and let's just go to the top part where we have our head. And let's just go and create some peculiar shapes like that that will represent the stripes. So let's just go and create 3 shapes like that. So these shapes that we have on the sides will be equal. This part that we have right here on the top will be a little bit bigger, and they will go along the shape that we have right here. So not just straight, but going on the line that we have right here on the top. When we have the result like that, let's just go and start creating our facial features. So firstly, let's just go underneath this ear that we have right here onto our right. We'll go to this line that we have right here. We'll go a little bit lower than this line, and we will just start by creating a shape of the circle or some kind of an ellipse. You can vary the size of the element that you are creating right now. You can vary the position of it. It's up to you. When you have the result like that, let's just go to the opposite side and create the same shape right here. But again, as we are creating a little tilt right here, we will need to go not straightly on this line, but a little bit underneath. So we are going on a diagonal axis. So if it's easier for you, you can just go and create a little guiding line like that. So this line will go the same way as we have our ears right here. When we have this line, let's just go to the end of this line that you've created right here, and let's create a similar shape of the eye that we have on our opposite side. Shade it right away if you want to. Try to make the eyes even size-wise, and when we have the result like that, let's just go and create the nose and the mouth. So if you have this guiding line right here, you are welcome to go and maybe erase it if it's a little bit too disturbing for you. When we have it, let's just get back to our brush and let's just go right to the middle where we have our eyes, and let's just go and create a triangular shape like that. So just a very triangular shape in that way. If you want, you can go and soften up the corners just by creating like the shape something in that way. When we have it, let's just go to the sides from the nose and we will go and create little shapes that we will create our mouth with. So just creating half of the circles and half of the ellipses. If you prefer ellipses, just go in there. You are welcome to experiment with the size of these elements, with the roundness of these elements, with the openness of the shape. You can try out it a couple of times to create something different. When we have the result going in that way, let's also go underneath our eyes and we will map out where we are going to be creating our cheeks. So let's just go underneath and create the shapes of the circles, or if you prefer ellipses, you are welcome to go with the ellipses. Try to make them even on both sides. Try to position them similarly on both sides. If you need to try it out a couple of times, you are welcome to go and do that. Just create the similar shapes on similar places, and when you have the result like that, you are welcome to go right close to these little shapes that you've created just right now, and let's just go and create 2 lines like that that will represent the whiskers. If you want to experiment with the amount of these elements or with their size or with anything, the placement maybe, you are welcome to go and do that too. Now when we have our cat mostly done, let's move on to some additional elements. So firstly, let's just go and create the paws. We will go again underneath this eye that we have right here onto our right, and we will just go to this little part where we have our sock part on the top, and we will start by creating a shape like that. So just go in there and creating the curve going in that way. So just create the big rounded curve like that. When you have it, let's just go on the bottom from it, and we'll be just going and creating some little fingers here. So just create a loop like that. You are welcome to go and create a bigger shape for the bigger finger right here. You are welcome to experiment and try out something different if you want to. Go and create one more finger that will be quite similar to this one that you have right here on the outside part, and let's just go with this finger a little bit up, and we will kind of close the shape right here. If you want, you can go and work more onto this little curve and maybe make a little bit of space right here. When you have this first line, let's just go and grab our eraser, and we will erase everything that we don't need right here. So every overlapping part that we don't need, that is a little bit confusing later on, we will just go and erase. Let's just go and do it very quickly with our eraser, and when we have the result like that, let's just take a look at everything from the distance and decide whether we want to adjust this part or not. If you want, you can just go and manually adjust it with your brush. When you have the paw that you like, let's just go to the opposite side and create something similar here. So for example, if you like this little paw, we can just go and create a copy of it. Let's just go to this S ribbon icon right here. We will use the freehand method. We will just loom this shape around closer to the line that we have right here. When only this element is selected, we will go with 3 fingers down, and we will just go and invoke this window that is copy and paste window. When we invoked it, we will just go and choose copy, and then we will do it one more time. 3 fingers down, and this time we will choose the option paste. Now we have this bounding box right here. We will just go underneath. We will go to this box right here on the bottom, and we will choose flip horizontal. We will move this paw to the opposite side, and you can just go and maybe change the direction of this paw. So if you want to rotate it, you are welcome to go to this green node. You are welcome to go and maybe rotate it to your liking. You are welcome to move it to your liking. It's all up to you. Find the placement for it. Take a look at everything from the distance to decide whether you like the result or not. If you want to play around with it a little bit more, you are welcome to go and do that. So when you have the result that you like, let's just go away from this mode by tapping on the arrow key. And then we will just need to go back to our layers, and we will need to merge these 2 layers together. So let's just tap on this layer on the top, and we will choose the option merge down. If you have some lines that you need to erase or refine, go and do what you need to do right here. And when you have the result like that, let's just get back to our brush, and let's just go and create some additional elements here. So firstly, let's just go to this paw that we have just created, and we will go and create a candy cane right here. Let's just go with a very big shape right here. So going a little bit lower than this line that we have as our guiding line, and put in this little cane right here to this paw that we have just created. So just create a rounded shape like that with a straight line on the bottom, and let's just go add some thickness to it just by creating the parallel curves right here and the parallel line. Let's just go and create it going in that way. Refine the lines if you want to. If you need to erase something, just go and do that. If you want to erase this line that is overlapping right here as our cat part, you are welcome to erase it too. Just pay attention to these little curves that you are creating. Try to make the top part and the bottom part even and parallel to one another. If you want, you can also go right here. If you have some space between the paw and this little shape that we have for the top of our sock, you can go and edit here too. I mean the line of the cane. And also, let's just go and create the little lines that later on we will recolor differently to create this cane. So again, we are going along the shape and creating the lines in accordance with it. When we have our cane, let's just go to the top and let's create a little head here. Let's make it very peculiar. We will make it in a shape of that tree. Let's just go and start by creating 2 little lines like that, and then we will just go and create a couple more of them on the bottom. So just create a shape of the tree right here, the Christmas one, and when you have the result like that, let's go on top of it and let's create a little star right here. So very easily just go and creating the star like that, and then we also will go right here on the bottom and we will create the similar shape to what we have on the top of our little sock. So let's just go to the sides and make them soft and maybe add a bit of the fur right here if you want to. If you have some lines that you need to go and erase, you are welcome to go and erase them, so you will have a clean view what you are doing right here. When you are done with this task, let's also go to the opposite side from the cane, and we will create some little shapes of holy leaves. Let's just go and create firstly the berries right here. So just go and creating two little elements like that. And when you have these two elements, let's go to the first one on top. We will create a little line like that. Then we'll rotate our canvas, go to the opposite side, and create something going in that way. You are welcome to experiment with the position of these elements. These little lines that we've created will be the part of our leaf. And when we have the first one and the second one, let's go to the top and let's start from here and let's start creating our leaves right here. So what we need to do is to go and start creating our leaves in the shapes like that. So just going to the sides and creating this half of the ellipses, half of the circles going in that way. You can go and play around with the thickness of this element, with the roundness of this element, with everything that you want to play around with. When you are done with the first leaf, let's just again rotate our canvas and do the same on the opposite side. So let's just go and try to repeat similar things that we did on the opposite side. So just go in there and creating our leaves, creating our little half of the circle, half of the ellipses, trying to make them even on both sides. When you have the result like that, if you have some additional lines that you need to erase or adjust, you are welcome to go and adjust them to your liking. And when you have something going in that way, let's just get back to our brush and let's just go to this part on the sock right here on the top underneath this fluffy part, and we will just go and create some pattern here. So let's go and create two parallel curves like that. So very softly just go in there and mapping out where we are going to be creating them. When we have them, let's also go right here to the middle part and let's create some pattern that later on we will recreate. You can go with something different if you want to. When we have the result like that, let's take a look at everything right here and decide whether we want to adjust some parts or not. If we want to adjust some parts, we can do it very easily, and it is good to do it on that stage where you are creating your sketch. So when you have the lines done, let's just go to our magic wand tool right here on the left and we'll go under Liquify. On the bottom, we will use our push option. We have the slider size. We are not touching anything else here. We will be just going to some of the places and we can just go and tweak them. So we will be just going to some of the areas, and if you want to adjust something here, you are welcome to go and do that. So let's just spend some time here and adjust the shapes to our liking. When you are mostly done with this task, let's just go and tap on our adjustments twice to get away from our Liquify tool. And if you still want to go maybe manually and adjust some elements, let's just go and do that. So for example, we can just go and make this cane a little bit bigger, and we can do it very easily just by going to our S ribbon icon, freehand method, select this element that you want to make a little bit bigger, go closer to the edges that you have right here, select only these elements, go to the arrow key, and let's just go to the uniform method and let's just go to one of the corners and make this shape bigger. Let's just take a look at it from the distance. Let's position it nicely. If you want to go with a different direction, or if you want to make it even bigger, you are welcome to go and do that too. So find what you are looking for, and when you are done adjusting it, when you like the result, let's just go and tap on the first icon that we were using. It was our S ribbon icon. If you have some elements that you need to adjust manually, let's just go and adjust them. So let's just go and maybe erase some lines that we don't need and maybe clean up the overall shape that we have right here. Take a look at everything one more time, and if you are satisfied with your sketch, let's just go and start working onto our clean lines. So to start with our clean lines, firstly, let's just get back to our list. We don't need this layer with our guiding lines anymore, so let's just hide it by tapping on this little check mark. When we did it, let's go again to this layer where we have our sketch. Let's tap on the N icon and let's adjust the opacity so we will be having no problems with creating our clean lines. When we did it, just creating our new layer by tapping on the plus icon, and when you did it with the same color, let's just go back to our brush library. And this time we will go to the inking folder. In the inking folder, we will go and select technical pen brush, And if you want your lines to be very smooth, you can just go and tap on this brush, go inside the brush studio. You are welcome to go under stabilization and play around with the amount of streamline and amount of stabilization. You can try it out right here onto the drawing pad, decide whether you want to maybe tweak these options in any other way. When you're satisfied, just hit done, and remember that you can always get back to this option later on if you need to. So what we're going to be doing right now, firstly, let's just go and adjust the size of our brush to something a little bit bigger, and we will just go and start recreating the lines that we have right here. So you just need to go and create the lines the same way as they are onto your sketch if you are satisfied with everything that you have here. Or you can just go and maybe try out something different right here. So what we need to do is to achieve the niceness and smoothness of the lines. So we will just need to go and create nice and smooth connections. We just need to create an even line going along the whole shape. And we will just go and create the lines without the gaps inside the lines. So let's just go and start by creating these lines that we have right here for our sock. We will just go and figure out what we need to recreate right here. You are welcome to always take a look at everything from the distance to see whether you like the result on what you are working right now or not. If you want, you can straight away go and adjust the thickness and maybe connections of the lines with your eraser to just go and try to create nice and smooth lines and work onto the connections if you are not creating your lines just with one straight line. Let's just go and create these lines going along the whole shape right here, and we'll go over the top. You can rotate your canvas. You can just go and create this line in that way. You can hold your line, and in the end, you will create a smooth curve right here. And we can go over the top to the editing mode and adjust the curvature of the line here. So you can connect it nicely. When you are done, just tap on the screen to accept the changes. And if you have some little peculiar shapes that you need to go and manually work on, you are welcome to go and work on them. So let's just go very easily and create these lines. And then we will just go over the top and we will start recreating this little element right here too. Again, if you want, you can go and maybe create something different right here. You are welcome to maybe experiment and create the wavy lines right here if you want to. Let's just go and create the overall shape similar to what we have onto our sketch, but maybe play a little bit with the lines right here. When we have result like that, let's just go over the top and let's create the line right here. So again, you are welcome to go with a wavier shape or with a different shape right here. You also can pay more attention to the outside lines and make them just a little bit thicker. But overall, just try to make the connections nice so they are not very abrupt right here. Let's just go and work onto these little parts. When you have the result like that, let's just get back to these little additional elements right here on the bottom. And let's just go and create them just with one line. So just creating our curve, holding it at the end. If we want to go and adjust it, go into our editing mode and adjusting it. Just make sure that you don't have any gaps inside your line. And when you are done with the first one, let's just go to the opposite side and create something similar here. So again, just create a curve. If you see that you just need to go and connect it in a different way, you are welcome to go to the editing mode and work on this little part right here. You are welcome to make a thicker connection right here if you want to. When you have the result like that, let's just go and start working onto our cat, and we will just start doing it on a separate layer. So first, let's just get back to our list and create one more layer on top, and let's again go and start recreating the shape that we have for the cat. So if you have some overlapping parts right here in the shape of the cane or something like that, you are welcome to go above them without interrupting your line. So let's just go there and start recreating our elements. Again, if you want, you can just go and create the shape in that way. For the ear, for example, you can hold your curve right here, go to the editing mode to adjust the curvature if you want to. If you have some little elements that you need to erase, you are welcome to go and erase them just by using your eraser. And again, try to work onto the connections, try to make them nice and smooth. If you need to work more onto the overall shape right here, you are welcome to go and do that. When you have the first ear, let's just go to the top and let's reconstruct this little part that we have right here on the top. And again, just go into the ear and creating the shape. holding it at the end, trying to make it similar to the shape that we have right here on this side. So if you need to go and adjust it, you are welcome to go and do that. When you have the shape, tap on the screen. If you need to work onto the connection right here and make it a little bit smoother, you are welcome to go and do that too. Let's just get back to our brush and let's just go and create the shape of our cat right here. So again, just hold your line and go to the editing mode to adjust it if you want to. Try to make nice and smooth connection between the shapes if you want to work onto the curvature of this line, or maybe just play around with the position of this line. You are welcome to go and do that. When you are done, just tap on the screen, take a look at your connections right here. If you need to work on them, just go and do that. Make sure that you don't have any gaps into your outlines. When you are done with this task, let's just go and make our size of the brush just a little bit smaller. And with the smaller size of the brush, let's just go and recreate these little parts that we have for our inner parts of the ears. So again, you can just hold your line at the ends, adjust the shape, go and create these peculiar shapes that we are going to be creating for the fur. If you need to go and work on the corners or any other connections, go and do that. And when you are ready with the first ear, just go and do the same on the opposite side. Again, hold your line at the end, go and create this peculiar shape right here. You are welcome to experiment if you want to create something different here. Connect it nicely, make sure you don't have any gaps. When you have the result like that, we can go and start working on our facial features. So firstly, let's just go to one of the eyes. We will create our eye just with one line, so we are holding it at the end. We are creating a bigger shape, or if you want to go with a smaller one, you're welcome to go and do that to create a straight element right here, not the ellipse but a perfectly round circle. We are holding our Apple Pencil, and we also can hold one of our fingers on the screen and adjust the size by moving our Apple Pencil from side to side. So adjust the size to your liking. When you have the result that you like, let's just go and drag and drop the color inside. So just move it right here. If you have some additional elements that you need to work on right here onto the shape that you've created right now, work with your brush, work with your eraser, and adjust it to your liking. Now, when we have the first eye, let's just go to our S ribbon icon, freehand method. Let's just go select it, and let's just go and make a copy. So again, 3 fingers down, invoking copy and paste menu, choosing copy firstly, doing the same thing, choosing the paste after that. And let's just move this shape to the opposite side. Let's position it nicely. Take a look at it from the distance, decide whether you need to maybe work on it, onto the size of it, or maybe onto the position of it. Just find the place for this element. When you are done, just tap on the arrow key on the top. Again, take a look at everything from the distance, and when you are satisfied with everything here, let's just go to our layers and let's merge these 2 layers together. So go into the top one where we have the second eye, tapping and selecting merge down. On the same layer, let's just go and create our facial features. So again, getting back to our brush, going and starting by creating a nose right here. So you are welcome to go with a straight triangular shape or soften it up to your liking. When you have this little nose, let's just go to the bottom and let's create our mouth. So again, just holding our line. If we need to work onto the curvature, just go into our editing mode and adjusting it. You can vary the size of this element. You are always welcome to go and take a look at everything from the distance to decide whether you like it or not. If you are satisfied with it, just tap on the screen and go to the opposite side and create something similar here. Try to make this line similar to the one that you have on the opposite side. Try to create it in a nice way. Just try to make it similar. Go to the editing mode if you need to work onto the curvature, the size, everything here, the position. When you are done, just tap on the screen. Let's just take a look at it from the distance. If you like the result, let's go back to our layers and let's just go and create one more layer on top. Let's go and work onto our little paw right here. So again, we will create just one of the paws, so you can just recreate what you have right here for your sketch. Just go there, create these little fingers, hold your lines if you want to go with the smoother shapes, and then just go and connect it in that way and go up with a little curve like that. You are welcome to experiment a little bit and work onto the thickness of this element right here. You are welcome to go and maybe play around with the roundness of these little parts. You are welcome to work on anything that you want to work with. And when you have this paw right here, let's go and make a copy of it. We can do it the same way as we did before with our S ribbon icon, but as we have just one element right here, we are going to our layers. We will go to this layer where we have this paw, we'll swipe it from right to left, and we will choose the option duplicate. Now we have two similar layers. We will go to one of them, doesn't matter which one. Just go select one of these layers, go to the arrow key, go to the uniform method, use the option flip horizontal, and go to this paw that you have right here and position it in a way that you have it on the sketch, or in some different way if you want to. So just find the placement for this element. When you are done, let's just go and tap on our arrow key to deselect everything. When we have the result that we like, let's just get back to our layers. Let's just go to this layer on the top, merge it down. If you want on the same layer, we can just go and recreate our little shapes that we have right here for the whiskers. Probably these ones that we have right here on the left won't be seen, or only one of them will be seen. So you can just go and create just one right here. And when we have the result like that, let's one more time go to our layers and create one more layer on top. On this layer, we will work on all of these details that we have right here. So let's firstly go and start with something easy. We will just go right here on the top and recreate this little tree right here. Let's just go and create it in the same way as we have it onto our sketch. Or if you want to experiment a little bit and create something different, you are welcome to go and do that. You can try it out a couple of times. If you want, maybe go a little bit bigger with this shape, or smaller if you want to. When you have the result that you like for your tree, let's just go to the bottom and create this fluffy part right here. We also need to achieve the effect that this little shape that we are creating right now is not just floating on the air, it is sitting on our head. So if you need to try it out a couple of times, you are welcome to go and do that. When you have the result that you like, let's just go over the top and recreate the shape that we have right here for the star. But this time we will just go and start creating our star like that. So just go and creating the shape of the star and holding it at the end. If you want to adjust it, go into our editing mode and just go in and drag in this little nose that we have right here to create a nicer shape. If you want to move it, just hold your Apple Pencil when you are at the editing mode and move it to the place you want this shape to be. So spend some time right here and adjust the shape to your liking, and when you are done, just tap on the screen and get away from this mode. Now, when we have our little tree on the top, let's move on to the cane and let's just go and recreate it. So let's just start by creating two straight lines like that. You can hold your line at the end. When you have two straight and parallel lines, let's move on to this scary part right here, and we will just go there and create it again just with a curve. Hold it at the end, try to make a nice connection right here with the overall shape that you have right here as the stick. And when you have it, let's just tap on the screen and let's just go and create the similar shape right here on the bottom. So again, just go in there and creating the parallel curve, holding it at the end. If you need to adjust it, just go into our editing mode and adjusting it. And then just go and recreating this part right here, trying to make it even to our shape that we have on the top. So again, if you need to try it out a couple of times, just go and do that. Hold your line at the end, go to the editing mode and adjust it from here. Try to make nice connections, try to create a nice shape right here. When you are done, just tap on the screen, and if you have some elements that you need to adjust manually, just go and adjust them. Work with your brush, work with your eraser, work onto the elements to make them nice and smooth and everything. So just work onto the lines too to make nice connections between the elements here too. If you need to go to this little part right here where you have the connection between the stick, again, go with your eraser, go with your brush, smoothen out this shape. If you have some gap right here between the paw and this little shape that we have for our top of the sock, you are welcome to go grab your brush one more time and go and create this line right here. So we will connect it nicely and we will have the elongation of the cane right here on the bottom. When we have the result like that, let's move on to our opposite side and let's recreate this little flowery part right here. So again, just starting with our shapes, hold your line and the end, hold one of your fingers on the screen, adjust the size if you want to. If you are at the editing mode, you can go right between the nodes that we have right here in the editing mode, hold your Apple Pencil there and just drag it outside to create a nicer and bigger shape. When you have this first element, you can position it the same way as you have it onto your sketch, or you can just go a little bit inside the shape of the cat. When you have it, just tap on the screen and let's just go and create another shape just a little bit smaller. So again, start by creating a little circle, hold your line, hold your Apple Pencil, go to the editing mode and adjust the placement if you need to. Just go and overlap it just a little bit, and when you have the result like that, tap on the screen. Straight away, let's just go grab our eraser, decide which part you want to be overlapped. If you want to go with the bigger size of this element right here on the top, just go and erase this line that is overlapping right here. And when you have the result like that, let's just go and recreate our little lips. So again, we will start just by going and creating these additional lines that we have in the center. So just go there, recreate them, and then go to the sides and recreate these lips. Again, our main goal right here to create something nice, to create something even on both sides, and to make the closed outlines. So when you've achieved it on one lip, let's just go to the opposite side and create something similar here. So again, you can repeat everything that you have on your sketch, or you can just try out to create something different, maybe with a bigger amount of this element, or if you want to experiment in any other way, you are welcome to go and do that. So now when we have the result like that, we are welcome to go back to our list and hide our layer with the sketch. So it is our layer on the bottom. Let's just tap on this little check mark right here. Let's just take a look at everything without our lines on the sketch. If you like everything that you have right here, and if you don't want to move anything, we will just need to go and erase all these overlapping lines that we don't need. So let's just start by going to our sock right here. Select this layer just by tapping on it, go to the eraser and go to this all overlapping parts that we don't need. So firstly, let's just go to this post right here. Let's just go and increase the size of our brush, and we will go very accurately and erase the parts that we don't need. Let's just go to the opposite side and create something similar here. So just erase the overlapping parts. If you don't have anything that is connected with this layer anymore, let's just go back to our list. Let's just go to our next layer, which is our cat, and let's just go and erase all the overlapping parts right here. So again, just going with our eraser and erasing the parts that we don't need. Let's just go over the top here to right here onto this little hat that we've created. Let's erase everything nicely, make nice connections. Go to the opposite side. If you have some elements to erase right here, go and erase them. Let's then go to our next layer, which is our layer with the paws. Make sure that you don't have anything that is overlapping right here. If you have the whiskers right here and they are overlapping the cane, you are welcome to go and erase everything that you don't need right here. If you are satisfied with the paws, let's just go to our next layer, which is our layer with these additional elements. And if you have some elements that are overlapping, grabbing our eraser and erasing the lines that we don't need. When you've erased everything and cleaned up your illustration, let's just go to our list and let's merge all of these layers that belong to our clean lines. To do that very quickly, we can just put one of our fingers on the top layer, another on the bottom, and just make a pinch movement. Make sure that everything is on one layer just by going to the check mark and just hitting it a few times. When we have the result like that, let's just go to our layer where we have our sketch. Let's select it, let's hold it, and let's drag it above our layer with our lines. When we have the result like that, we are ready to move on to our colors. To start with our colors, let's go to this layer where we have our lines. We will tap on it and we will choose a reference from the list. This way we will use our lines and we can fill the areas on separate layers. So now when we have it set in that way, let's just move on to this layer that we have on the bottom and let's create one more layer right here. When we did it, let's go firstly to our background color and let's select the color with the title background. When we did it, going back to our list, making sure that we are in this new layer that we've created, and let's just go to our color palette and let's select this light grayish orange color. With this color, we will just go to all of the areas that belong to our sock and we will just recolor them. When we did it, let's go again to our list. Let's create one more layer above this layer. Let's tap on this layer and let's select clipping mask. When we did it, let's go to our color palettes and let's select this pink red color. With this pink red color, we will just go inside the sock right here and we will recolor this part. When we did it, we are ready to move on to our layers. We are ready to create one more layer on top, and we are ready to get back to our color palette and select the same light grayish orange color. When we did it, just go into our cat and recolor everything that belongs to our cat. Just drag and drop the color to all the areas right here, even to the inside parts of our nose and to our ears. When everything is recolored, let's just get back to our layers. Let's again create one more layer on top, tap on this layer, and let's select our clipping mask. When we did it, let's just go to our color palette. Let's select this soft pink color, and we will just go and recolor our inner parts of the ears. We will recolor our little nose, and also we will just need to go and recreate these elements that we had on our sketch, our little cheeks right here. So let's just go to our layers. Let's unhide our layer with the sketch. We will see where we have these elements. And when we did it, let's also go back to our brush library, and this time we will go to the calligraphy folder. We'll choose monoline brush, and we will just go and adjust the size of our brush to something bigger. You can try it out a couple of times, and we will just go and create these shapes that we've created for our little cheeks right here. So just go there, try to position them on one line or at the same place onto your illustration. When you have the result like that, you are welcome to go and hide this layer with the sketch to check out how everything looks. When you're satisfied with it, let's just go again, unhide our layer, and let's just go and recreate these additional elements on the top. So on the same layer with this monoline brush, let's just go and recreate this part. So firstly, just go in there, creating our elements, just create the outline, and then go inside and manually recolor the rest of the area. When you are done with the first element, move on to the opposite side and create something similar here. Try not to go outside the shape that you have right here for the head. Go inside the shape and recolor it. Just try to color everything right here. Try not to have any miscolored places. When you are done with it, just go to the opposite side and create something similar here. Try to create a similar shape, a similar curve, the similar size right here. Try to put it on the same curve right here. Try not to go outside the shape, just go inside when you are ready and add the color to this little place right here. When you are done with it, make sure that you don't have any gaps, and then let's just go and hide our layer with our sketch. When we are done with this task, let's create one more layer on top. Let's just go again to our color palettes and let's go with this pink red color. With this pink red color, let's just go to our cane and also to our little shapes that we have right here for our little berries. Don't forget to recolor this little part right here on the bottom of the paw, and let's just go and recolor all of these little elements. When we are done with it, let's just go again to our color palette. Let's select this blue-green color and let's just go and recolor our leaves and also our little tree right here on the top. If something is going in that way, if you are just going and recoloring everything, you can see if you just drag and drop the color, and if you not lift your Apple Pencil, you can move it toward the left and you will have this threshold right here. So you can just go and try to fill everything when only this element that you need to recolor is recolored without leaking to the outside part. So just move your Apple Pencil and adjust it in that way. So when you have this additional element recolored, let's again get back to our color palettes. Let's select light grayish orange color, and with this color, let's just go and recolor our bottom of the tree right here and our little star. So now when we are done with basic colors, let's just go and start adding some beautifications. Let's go to our layers. Let's just go to this layer where we have our reference on. This is our layer with the lines. Let's tap on it and let's choose reference from the list and we will disable it. When we did it, let's go to this layer where we have our sock right here. We will go above the layer with this red part and we will create one more layer from here. Let's tap on this layer and let's select our clipping mask, and also let's just go and tap on the N icon and let's select multiply blending mode. Let's go to the opacity slider and set it to something around 50%, and then we will just go to our color palette and select this purple color. With the purple color and maybe with a bigger size of the brush, let's just go toward the bottom part and we will create the first curve like that will represent our little shadow right here. So you can work with your editing modes and adjust the curvature of this element. You are welcome to create something going in that way. And after the first one, make a wavy horizontal curve like that. When we've created this shape like that, let's also go to the bottom part right here that we have on the top of our little sock, and let's just go and create the shape going in that way. You can just go and create it in a wavy lines or in a straight lines. All that we need to do later on is to go and loom this whole shape around so we don't have any gaps, and then we will be able to add the color inside this shape. If you have some elements that you need to go and adjust manually, you are welcome to go and do that. We also can go underneath this little post right here and add a bit of shadows right here. Try to make nice connections between the shapes and into some corners that you have right here. When you have the result like that, take a look at everything right here and decide whether you like the amount of opacity right here. If you want to go and adjust it, you are welcome to go to this M icon right here onto this layer and make it a little bit bigger or a little bit lower. When you are done with this task, let's also go and work onto the next shape. Let's just go to our little cat right here on the top. Let's just go to this layer that is attached. Let's create one more layer on top, tap on it, select clipping mask, go to our N icon, set the multiply blending mode, and let's also go and set the opacity to something a little bit lower than before, so something around 25%. When you are done with this task, let's just go again to the same line that we have right here, to the same side, and we'll be just going and creating just one line going up in that way. You can adjust the placement of it. You can just go to the 18 mode and play around with it. Let's just go and create something going in that way. When you are done, let's just go and loom this whole shape around, and let's just add the color inside. If you have some elements that you need to recreate manually, just go and do that. When we have something going in that way, let's also go and work onto this pore right here, because we will just need to go to our eraser and we will just need to go and erase this top part right here to make some difference in the color. As for the bottom, let's just go and start creating the similar shapes to what we have as our main lines right here, and just go in there to the top and recoloring this little part with our eraser. So when you have the outline, let's just go and erase this part completely, and when you are done with this task, if you need to go and maybe adjust something with your brush to maybe create a nicer shape right here, you are welcome to go and do that too. When you are done with this task, let's go to the opposite side right here and let's put this part completely in a shadow. And also we will do the same with the pore that we have right here on the side. Let's just go and start creating the outlines right here with the smaller size of the brush, just repeating the lines that we have as our outlines. When you have the result like that, if you need to adjust something with your eraser, go and adjust it. If you are satisfied with everything here, let's just get back to our brush. Let's just set the smaller size of the brush and let's just go inside the ears to the corners where we don't have some fluff, and we will just go to the right side firstly and add the shadow in that way, and we will do the same on the opposite side. But this time we will just go to the same corner and we will put a little shadow going in that way right near our little fluff. When we have everything in that way, one more time, take a look at your opacity right here. If you want to go and maybe change it a little bit, make it a little bit less visible, you are welcome to go and do that. Something about 20% looks better, I think. And when we are done with this task, let's go and start adding additional elements, additional shadows to our additional parts. When we have this layer selected, let's create one more layer on top. Let's tap on it, select clipping mask, go to the N icon, multiply blending mode. Let's just set amount of the opacity to something around 40% this time, the same color that we are using. Go into our cane firstly. And let's just go to the bottom part and let's just go and recreate the overall shade that we have right here. So just go in there and creating something going in that way. If you have some elements that you need to recolor manually, just go and recolor them. If you want to go with a different shape for your shadow, just go and create something different right here. Don't forget to recolor this little part right here on the bottom. And also let's just go to our little berries right here and let's add little shadows to them too. Go into the bottom mostly and creating our little shapes right here. Again, if you need to work onto these little shapes, you are welcome to go grab your eraser, work on them if you need to. When you are done, let's also go to our little tree right here and add a shadow on the same side where we have all of our shadows. If you want to go to the star and add a little shadow right here, you are welcome to go and do that too. Now, when we are done with our main shapes, let's just go and add a few more beautifications. So firstly, let's just get back to our layers and we will go to this layer where we have our sock. So to our red part, let's just go select this layer and create one more layer right here. As you can remember, we had some beautifications right here onto our sketch. So let's just go and unhide our layer with our sketch. When we have it, let's just go to our color palette. Let's select this light grayish orange color. Let's set the size of our brush something a little bit bigger, and let's just go and recreate these little lines right here. So just go in there, creating our lines, working with our editing mode. If we need to adjust the curvature, when you have the first one, just going underneath and creating the similar line right here that will be quite parallel to the first one. Again, if you need to work on it or move it in any way, you are welcome to go to the editing mode. When you have it, let's just go and recreate these additional elements right here. So just go in there and creating our little peculiar shapes. You can hold them at the end. You can go to the editing mode and maybe adjust them if you want to. Let's just go and create them just by following everything that we have onto our little sketch. If you have the option triangle right here in the editing mode, you are welcome to go and use it, so it will be easier for you to adjust it if you need to adjust it. When you are done, just go and finish up this little part just by creating the last element in the row. When you have the result like that, let's go to the rest of the elements and let's just go and create these little lines that we have right here onto our cane. So let's just get back to our layers. Let's just go above the layer where we have our cane, the main one. We'll create one more layer right here. It will be automatically clipped to our layer with our additional elements right here on the top. And when it is done, let's just go and again adjust the size of our brush and let's just go and recreate these little lines that we mapped out onto our sketch. If you feel that maybe you want to go with a different direction or with a different curve right here, you are welcome to go and experiment. You are welcome to also go and adjust the size of this element. If you want to go bigger, go bigger. When you are done with this task, let's go to our leaves and let's go to our color palette and select this blue color. Let's adjust the size of our brush and let's just go to 1/2 of the leaves and let's just go and recolor it completely. Try to work very carefully. Don't go to the places that you don't want to recolor. When you are done with the first leaf, just go to the opposite side and recolor this little leaf here too. When you are done with it, let's just go to our layers. Let's hide this layer with our sketch. Take a look at everything and also let's just go and work onto our lines a little bit. What we need to do firstly is to go to our layers, find the layer with our lines, create one more layer on top, tap on this layer and again select our clipping mask. Let's go to our color palette and let's select this red color. With the red color, we will go firstly to these facial features in the shape of the mouth and nose, and we will just go above these elements and we will just go and recolor them. When we are done with it, let's also go to the inner parts of the ears. Let's recolor them too, just recolor them completely. When you are done with it, let's go and with the same color, recolor our paws. So this time, let's just go and be very careful where we have the connection between the paws and these little shapes that we have for the top part of our sock. So very carefully, just go and recolor the first one and then move on to the opposite side and do the same thing here. When you are done with this task, let's get back to our color palettes and select this light grayish orange color. And with this color and maybe with a little bit of a bigger size of the brush, we will just go to our little eyes right here and we will put the dots to create the highlights right here. When we did it, let's go and create one more element that will add this winter effect, and it will be a little snowflake. Let's just go to our list and let's create one more layer on top. Let's adjust the size of our brush, something a little bit smaller, so maybe something around 3%, or if you want to go with something bigger, go with something around 7%. And let's just go and create a straight line going in that way. You can go to some random place and create this straight line. Hold your line, hold your Apple Pencil, hold one of your fingers to create a straight line. And when you have it, let's just go over the top and let's create a little V icon the same way as we have it onto our additional elements right here. You can adjust it through your editing mode. When you are done with it, just tap on the screen, move on a little bit lower and create a bigger shape like that. So again, hold it at the end, adjust it by going to the editing mode, try to make it even on both sides. When you are done, let's just tap on the screen and let's just go to our layers and create a copy of this element. So swiping it from right to left, choosing duplicate, go into this layer that we have on the top, go into our arrow key and using the option flip vertical. Now let's just go and move this shape down so it will go on the same line that we have right here on the top. If you want to have these additional guiding lines that you see right now onto your screen, you can go under snapping right here and turn on snapping right here into the settings. So let's just move this little shape a little bit lower and create something going in that way. Make sure that these two elements are matching, and when you are done, just go to the arrow key and deselect everything. Now when we have the result like that, let's go and merge these two layers. So go into the top one, tap in, select and merge down, and when we have just one line like that, let's go and make a copy of it. When we did it, we are going to this top layer, go into our arrow key, uniform method, go into this green node that we have right here on the top, tap in on it, and let's just write down 60. When we did it, we will just have a nice element right here. When you are done, just tap on the arrow key and let's just go and do one more thing the same way. So again, go into this copy that we have right here, swiping it from right to left, choosing duplicate. When we have it, going again to our arrow key, go into this green node, tapping on it, tapping down 60, but this time we will go and tap on plus minus icon right here to go in reverse. When we have it, just tapping on our arrow key, and when you are satisfied with everything here, let's just go and merge these three layers together. So again, just making a pinch movement. When we have the result like that, let's just make a copy of this element, so swiping it from right to left, choosing duplicate, and we will just go with this element to our arrow key. We will make it a little bit smaller and we will go and place it onto our sock. To make sure that we are not going with some different placement right here, let's just go and hide this layer. We will just store it for later. So just tap on the arrow key, get back to this additional element that you have right here, go to the arrow key and find the placement, rotation, the size of this element to your liking. When you are done with it, just tap on the arrow key and let's just go and make one more copy of it. Go into our layers, either go to this layer that you have right here in store and make a copy of it, unhide it, go to the arrow key, go and adjust the size of it and place this element to some other place. So let's just go and maybe make it a little bit smaller, position it the same way onto our sock if you want to. Go to the arrow key when you are ready. If you want to move it after you are away from the arrow key, just go to this arrow key one more time and move it to your liking. When you are done, go into our layers one more time, and this time let's just go and make a copy of this layer so we will have the smaller size. So swiping it from right to left, choosing duplicate, go into our arrow key and let's just position it somewhere here on the top. If you want, you can rotate it, make it even smaller, find the better placement for it. Just look for what you are looking for. When you are done with this task, take a look at everything from the distance, decide whether you like the position of your elements. If you want to get back to this bigger size or to the other element, just find where it's positioned into your layers panel. Go back to your arrow key and position it nicely onto the place you want it to be. Get back to the canvas by tapping the arrow key. And when you are done, let's just go and make one more copy, or if you don't want to add more copies of this element, you can keep it as it is. You can use this element that you have right here in store if you don't want to have any more copies of it. So unhide it firstly, select the layer, go to the arrow key, make it smaller, and let's position it right here onto the shadow part on the top of the sock. When we have the result that we like, let's just tap on our arrow key and let's just go and work a little bit onto the outside parts of our shape to add more of a wintry atmosphere. So when we have everything set in that way, let's just go above all the layers that we have right here. Again, we are using our monoline brush. Let's go and set a bigger size of the brush and let's just go outside and let's just put a few little dots like that to represent big snowflakes in that way. When we are done with big snowflakes, let's just go and set a smaller size of the brush and let's just go and put a few more little elements like that. So just randomly go and put a few of these elements. When you are done with this smaller size, let's just go even smaller and put a few more of these elements to some random places. So just go there, put the dots, find the placement for them. When you are satisfied with everything here, let's just take a look at everything, decide whether we like it or not. If we are satisfied with everything here, we are done with our illustration. I hope you are proud of your result. Share it on socials and tag me so I can see your beautiful creations. And if you enjoyed this video, you can find more similar Kawaii tutorials on my Skillshare or on Patreon at the link in the description. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next tutorial.